Hi, I am Sam. No, not that Sam. And honestly, green eggs and ham never really did it for me. I'm more of a cereal man. I can communicate in 9 languages, kind of. Hola, soy Samuel. But speaking anything fluently other than English is a bit of a task.
Habla inglés.
I'm from Tasmania. Yes, that is part of Australia. And my degree in mechanical engineering has never been used for anything other than getting my mum off my back. Yes, Mum, my room's clean. Can I go outside and play in Russia now? I guess I'm an ordinary Tasmanian-grown human being. I work 9 to 6, 5 days a week. I have a university degree. I get motion sick. And just like you, I have feet. Size 16 though. And I have a name for each. I call them left and right. Left and right have carried me 15,500 kilometres around the world. No, you didn't misunderstand. I travelled 15,500 kilometres on foot from 2006 to 2008. It hurt. A lot. I guess I'm part Forrest Gump, part Francis of Assisi, with a bit of Bear Grylls thrown in. Only my specialty is in finding lonely dim sims in remote villages. While walking the world, I was held at gunpoint, knife point, repeatedly beaten up and almost eaten by a puma. I was hospitalised with salmonella poisoning, typhoid fever, food poisoning, heart arrhythmia, a dislodged hip, and I had an ouchie on my big toe. No, seriously, the thing almost fell off. It wasn't about survival though. It was about a mission. For unity. I stopped walking over 4 years ago. But the journey never really finished. And neither did people's jokes about me not needing a lift home because I could just walk. Yeah, funny. Seriously, give me a lift. I met a lot of people on that journey from Brazil to Spain. Some had smiles, some had shotguns, and confusingly, some had both. I now speak about the lessons from that little walk in around 90 high schools and organisations every year. I experienced both kindness and disdain while travelling, but one man in particular, in Panama, made an impact that cut deep. His name was Adolfo. His family was starving, and yet he fed and housed me in his tin shed home. I don't know much more about him than that. I know his first name, and I have one grainy photograph. What I do know is that I've wanted to find him ever since, to return the favour and help him. Over the years I've tried to track him down, but always came up empty-handed. The time came to put my life on hold, jump on a plane and go back to Central America to thank those who'd helped me and to search for Adolfo. The likelihood of finding him was about the same as finding a needle in a jungle. Pretty slim. But sometimes you have to put out into the deep and take the first step. Or plane in this case. Remember that little list of bad things that happened to me? Well, most of that happened in a country to the southeast of Panama called Venezuela. It's apparently even worse now, averaging 54 murders a day. And that's where we'll start. Venezuela and then Panama. 2 countries over 2 weeks in 1 car. I nearly lost my life a few times back in 2007, and that's why this time I'm travelling with 2 friends, Daniel and Wojtek, a cameraman and a doctor. Oh, it doesn't matter that they're a cameraman and a doctor. What matters is that if we get into trouble this time, I can outrun both of them. Bag packed, shoes laced, flimsy plan laid out. Buckle up, we're going back to the Americas. On the road to finding Adolfo, we had one final Venezuelan to search for before setting our sights to Panama and to Adolfo himself. We continued northwest up and over the northern tip of the Andes Mountains and along a deserted road I'd found back in 2008. It was heavenly bliss to be out on such a remote, meandering road away from the pressure of such a dangerous country.
I've got to admit, for the first couple of days here in Venezuela, I was pretty disillusioned.
with why we were here. It was a cool road trip, kind of, apart from the potholes. This whole journey was centred around Adolfo and going back to Panama, and I lost sight of why we were coming here to Venezuela. But it was only in the last couple of days, in meeting the people again, that it really started to come to life once more. That being that it was here in Venezuela, that the whole idea of unity being something more than just agreeing with each other in truth, but actually loving one another and reaching out to one another began to really be broken open for me. And it's coming back here now, starting to realise how profound the love is for some of these people, or the way they reach out to one another despite the incredible dangers in this place where there's 52 murders a day. There's incredible division, and yet some of the people that I met were just taking an incredible stand for unity, for being loving of one another and reaching out to each other. So I'm really enjoying the journey and meeting these people again. I am, however, baking in this sun, and I need to take some precautions out here. It's scorching. Thank you, Wojtek, for shining that thing in my face.
Yeah, now you can see it in your glasses as well. And there is a golden one.
The final person I wanted to track down in Venezuela was a padre who, in 2008, had impressed me so much with his no-nonsense, straight-down-the-line articulation of the problems we face in the world and what our response should be. Tracking down a priest at the local Catholic church in the town of Corora was a simpler task than some of our other searches. It also helped that Father Jaime and I had stayed in touch via email for the last 5 years, and he was expecting us. It was great to see Father Jaime again, and after Wojtek tried to feed our GoPro camera to a parrot, we shared a meal and caught up on the last 5 years. Father Jaime wasn't exactly smiling when he found out where we'd travelled through that day. That quiet Andes mountain road I'd walked along in 2008, and today driven, stopped, filmed, and generally had a rollicking good time along, wasn't as peaceful as we'd thought. Father Jaime referred to it as the death road. It turns out that the only reason you go there is to be shot or to shoot someone. He asked us, "Did you look over the edge? If you did, you would have seen a few bodies." I was really looking forward to getting out of Venezuela. But since we'd come all that way, we figured we'd get Father Jaime's wisdom on a few other issues before we fled for our lives.
A nivel de la familia, una falta de la constitución familiar, vemos un poquito como en crisis, ¿no? Una gran crisis familiar, muchas separaciones, falta de vínculos permanentes entre esposos y esposas, entre las mismas relaciones de amistad, falta mucha fidelidad y permanencia en el tiempo. Digamos que ahora vivimos todo casi como con una esquizofrenia, vivimos muy nerviosos, vivimos muy siempre tratando de preservar la vida y de cuidar la vida por las grandes amenazas que la propia vida tiene ante la cultura de la muerte. ¿Qué es la fe? Creo que hay muchas creencias, la gente cree muchas cosas, pero por creer en muchas cosas podemos decir que tiene fe en muchas cosas. No sé, creo que hay mucha religión, mas no mucha fe. Y creo que en ninguno de los ambientes haya mucha fe, porque uno ve protestantes con protestantes peleando en batallas, en rivalidades, en conflictos. Los católicos, quienes nos decimos católicos, robamos, asesinamos, matamos, mentimos, tenemos doble vida, doble discurso. Entonces, la fe como tal, yo diría que las personas adultas, 0.5, no sé, 1% de las personas adultas, para mí serían verdaderamente practicantes de la fe. La fe ayudaría a las personas porque si la persona cambia, el mundo cambia, la sociedad cambia. Y si fuéramos hombres y mujeres de verdadera fe, yo pienso que nosotros pudiéramos tener un mundo mejor. Creo que la fe busca y persigue construir un hombre nuevo, una persona nueva, con una nueva mentalidad, una nueva manera de ver la vida. Una fe bien cimentada, bien llevada, bien argumentada, sería una fe que, como nos invita bien San Pedro, pudiera dar razones de nuestra esperanza y de nuestras luchas de todos los días. Pero mientras vivamos en lo que decíamos anteriormente, en la religiosidad, en la religión, religados a cualquier ente superior, pero sin fe, pues hoy creemos una cosa, mañana podemos creer otra cosa y a la final eso como que da una visión muy pobre del hombre, de la persona. Entonces, ¿cómo no? Yo creo que soy de los que pienso que en la Iglesia Católica hemos fallado un poco en la formación del hombre desde la fe. Si lo hubiéramos formado bien desde la fe, creo que tendríamos mejores ciudadanos, tendríamos un mejor país y tendríamos un mejor mundo. Yo creo que la práctica del amor es visitando a los enfermos, en primer lugar, acompañando a las madres que sufren la pérdida de sus hijos jóvenes asesinados, muchos jóvenes, muchas madres que sufren, acompañando a las familias que pasan por momentos duros, por jóvenes que no tienen empleo. Entonces, es verdaderamente vivir una fe con obras, como bien nos invita San Pablo, ¿no? No es una fe que se queda en el aire, en lo etéreo, sino una fe que se hace vida práctica todos los días, desde el amanecer. Cuando yo decido aceptarte a ti, amarte a ti como eres, con respeto y tolerancia, yo creo que estoy viviendo mi fe, estoy viviendo el amor. Eso no necesitamos grandes proyectos para mostrar el amor cristiano. Es Jesús, yo diría mi respuesta, porque Jesús es un hombre que yo admiro mucho, me gusta mucho su libertad, me gusta ser libre. Mi felicidad la pongo yo en el trabajo, en el servicio, en el darme a la gente, en ayudar a la gente. Lo poco que tengo, compartirlo con la gente. Mi felicidad está puesta en eso, pues, en la entrega de todos los días, en creer que hay la esperanza de hacer de este mundo algo nuevo, de que si es posible que tengamos una iglesia amable, simpática, cercana. Mi felicidad está expuesta en el amor y en la libertad plena como Jesús, ¿no? Jesús fue un hombre libre y por eso creo que fue feliz. ¿Qué nos quita la felicidad cuando somos esclavos de personas, somos esclavos de instituciones, de actitudes personales, egoístas? Cuando somos esclavos, pues no somos felices. Yo creo que mi felicidad es, diría yo, que invitar a muchos jóvenes como Samuel, así que crean en algo, ¿no? Que tengan fe en algo, porque eso da ilusión, eso da alegría, eso da paz, da felicidad. Yo sí creo, pues, que invitar a muchos jóvenes a que no se conformen con lo inmediato, por lo que tenemos cerca, que es un teléfono, querer tener un carro, una buena casa, dinero en el bolsillo, muchas mujeres o muchos hombres, no sé, sexo, droga, alcohol. Pero yo los invitaría a tomar aventura y a tomar riesgos bonitos de crecimiento personal, de búsqueda de la verdadera felicidad y de no dejar de soñar. Creo que el que deje de soñar está muerto, ¿no? Entonces todos los días es soñar y que cada uno de nosotros podamos morir soñando.
In order to track down Adolfo, who is potentially homeless in a country of 3.5 million people, we'd need to very much stick to Father Jaime's words and just not give up. From Corora we headed back to Caracas for our flight to Panama, and in doing so, we rounded out a whopping 3,000 kilometres in our first week. With night setting in and the weather turning, it was a scary end to a dangerous country. and with the rain pouring down making visibility negligible, we thumped over 3 speed humps at 100 kilometres an hour before the highway suddenly ended and everyone's head was sore from hitting the car roof. We were forced to backtrack a few kilometres to make a detour. Honestly, who puts unpainted, unmarked speed humps across a freeway? Funnily enough, the town at that point was named Moron. We booked into a hotel in Valencia for the night. We were grateful to survive what was honestly our scariest night on the road. So we're at the hotel and we're about to leave Venezuela. We're heading off to the airport this morning. We've met some wonderful people here in Venezuela and we've gone through some extraordinary environments, but to be honest, I think we've scared ourselves half to death, except for Wojtek, who's enjoyed every single moment of it. We're really looking forward to heading over to Panama though and being able to get into a brand new section of this journey. We've met extraordinary people here. They've really taught us some new lessons about what it is to be united and what it is to not be united. But now we're heading off to Panama to, in essence, try and put some of that into practice. You good?
Got it.
You found your thongs?
I found my thongs, yeah.
Caracas was a spectacular ending to a remarkable Venezuelan crossing. The colourful houses, stacked one on top of the other, forming massive technicoloured waves of rolling hills over the city, seemed to echo the cry we'd heard many times on our journey. We're poor, but we're happy. With carjackings on the freeway a well-documented problem, we kept our windows up and the cameras inside as we ploughed on through to the international airport. Quite seriously, the lady at the rental company looked surprised to see us. We're pretty sure that they'd already written the car off as having been pushed off a steep cliff with us inside. Still, they received the car back, charged my credit card and then bought themselves 2 international plane tickets using my card details. Good thing I checked my account regularly. I let the police sort that one out. On to Panama. Panama City immediately felt like it was a world away from Caracas. The quality of the roads, the multitude of high-rises, and the general cleanliness of the streets. We were all breathing a sigh of relief. The owners of the hotel we stayed in on our first night, much to our amazement, let us climb up onto their roof to film for half an hour. It was about the quietest spot in the fast-paced town. So now I guess we've got the journey ahead of us. We're heading out this direction and we'll head up towards Adolfo's village where he used to live. We're pretty sure he doesn't live there anymore, but we'll at least go there and see if we can track him down. Adolfo was probably the epitome of someone reaching out and offering hospitality at a time when he probably did have every excuse not to be. He was leaving his wife the next day. He had no food, they had no running water, he had no job. He was heading down to Panama City, there's 200 kilometres between these two places. He was going to be separated from his wife and daughter while he tried to find work and would then send money home to them. He, if anyone, probably had an excuse to not even bother about the Westerner who had wandered into town with a backpack on. But he went to such an extreme level of hospitality just to make me feel welcomed. He even went door knocking for me to find food for me. So this is where it gets personal. This isn't just about thanking him for helping me, but to try and find him and hope that he's in a better position than he was 5 years ago. If he's not, then see what we can do to maybe return the favour and help him back. This is the awkward thing that Venezuela brought up was in the people that we met along the way. There were so many different scenarios that had unfolded. Some of the people that are searched for had died. Yeah. Some of the people had moved. They'd moved on. Some of the people weren't necessarily who I thought they may have been.
And they didn't live where you thought they did live.
And others were exactly where they used to be and exactly the same as I remembered. You know, and so there's this whole myriad of possibilities and maybe even other possibilities as well as to where Adolfo could be and what his circumstances could be.
Yeah.
Right now I just want to get rolling, try and get the information down, at least open up that conversation of where is Adolfo. We are around about 10 kilometres from Adolfo's village, from where he lived in 2007. We hit the trip meter from Santiago, the place we stayed last night, and I know I'd walked 40 k's to get to that town, so we're watching it tick down at the moment. 9.1 kilometres to go to get to the village. We were joking that Adolfo's daughter's toy is going to start glowing the closer we get to his village. It's funny coming back along this road. I don't really remember much of this road. It's not like driving along here and I'm going, oh wow, remember that, remember that. It's all very pretty. Now I start getting a little bit nervous. We don't know. We think we're going back there to get information. There is the very faint possibility that we could go back there and he is actually there. I guess more than anything right now, I'm just wondering, you know, where Adolfo is. How is he? What's changed in the last 5 years? Has his situation improved, deteriorated, still the same? He was really sad the day that I was leaving, not because I was leaving, but because of what he was about to confront. He was crying when he was telling me that he was leaving his wife and daughter the next day to just go and try and find work down in Panama City. So I guess the big thing is just wondering if his situation has improved and really hoping that it has.
That is a possibility.
Ah, there's down there.
Sorry? That's the one with the bench?
How about those two? Here it is. That's the shop.
That's it.
Yeah, pull in. We began searching for Adolfo by starting at the tiny store I'd met him at. The lady who owned it at least remembered my arrival in the village 5 years ago. 6'5" white guys aren't exactly in abundance out there. It appears that Adolfo probably doesn't live here at the moment, but that they think that, like, they recognised him, and the lady at the shop's going to do, she's taking the photograph, she's going to do all she can in the next 24 hours to try and find out information for us, just through asking the locals. And she's invited us back tomorrow morning to see what she's found out. On the way out of town, I spotted an older couple sitting outside their home and thought, if anyone would remember Adolfo, they probably would. So we stopped to ask. Soy de Australia. Gracias. Est.
Y este es Adolfo.
Adolfo, sí.
Ay, niño, no.
No,
El nombre es
no
Adolfo.
persona aquí, nombre Adolfo.
Dice padres de su esposa.
Is la casa 100, 200 metros. After some lengthy discussion and an attempt to get our bearings, we'd uncovered very little.
Baseball?
No one remembered a man named Adolfo ever living where I was suggesting. I remembered exactly where we'd walked to get to Adolfo's house, but Junior insisted that my memory was faltering because there was no home where I was pointing. And so up and down the road we went, searching for Adolfo's residence. In 2008, Adolfo had fared poorly with securing any assistance from the locals. They wouldn't talk to him, they wouldn't help him, and consequently, he needed to leave his wife and daughter to find work. Now in 2012, we at least made some positive inroads. Big Junior took it upon himself to help us. No one knew of him, and nothing we passed fitted even slightly with my recollection of his tin shed home. Eventually I convinced Junior to walk with us down the track and across the creek I remember walking along to get to Adolfo's place. And we found it. Well, what was left of it.
This is La Casa. So we found his home. This is where I slept. This is what's left of Adolfo's home. It's even got the picture frame here of what looks like a picture of a flower or something, bits and pieces. It's been down for quite a while by the look of it, but what we've just found out, although we know that the home isn't here any longer, I've just found a cross. What we do know is that his wife, it would appear, his wife and daughter are here at the moment and living with her parents. So Junior, who's been showing us around, is going to take us up there, and it looks like we're one step closer.
In fact, Junior took us straight to Adolfo's mum. Only there was one more problem. The young man who used to live in that shed, his name wasn't Adolfo. It was Alessi. Alessi's mum confirmed that her son had lived there and that he was slightly older than what Adolfo should have been. It was so thoroughly confusing that we're all just left staring at each other. Did Adolfo even exist? The vivid memory of a man who'd given everything, of an encounter that had had such a profound impact on me, was being attacked from all directions. The cold reality sank in that maybe I'd just gotten it all so wrong. My Spanish was poor. Maybe I'd just misunderstood whoever it was that showed me hospitality all those years ago. And 5 years had passed, maybe my memory was just skewed. Was it Adolfo or Alessi? Was he in trouble or was he doing fine? It was embarrassing. Searching for one man in a country of 3.5 million people was hard enough. But searching for a man who no one knew? Well, the only thing we were chasing were our own shadows.